Hello, my name is Xelnas, and this is my Extreme Light OneChunk Ironman Obor chunk. This is going to be a bit of a different Chunkman video, in that I've already done everything, well, I've done a lot of the things in my chunk that I want to do, so this is going to be an explanation of what I did. If you want to watch my progress, I stream the majority of this account on twitch.tv/XelTV_, XELTV_. This account is running under essentially the extreme rules. What that means is I need to get almost everything in my chunks. The only thing that I don't need to get are capes, and that's mainly because I'm 3 rolls away from the monastery. Yes, 3, even though it's right there. The chunks in RuneScape are weird, and sometimes things are further than they seem. So, what I started with is I did not drop my stuff from Tutorial Island. What this means is that essentially I got an axe, and that's about it. Technically I have a pickaxe, but there's no actual other pickaxes in my chunk, so I did not add those chunk rolls to my rolls. What this means is that since there are axes I can wield in this chunk, I could start wood chopping immediately. That is the only advantage I received from doing this. My primary goals, there are a bunch of other smaller goals, was I needed a full rune, essentially gear. And that is what I ended up with. Rune kite shield, rune chain body, the rune plate skirt or legs, the rune full helm, a team cape, leather gloves, and a rune sword. This is the best that you can look if your only thing is Edgeville. I also have the Petal Garland, which I got from forestry. Completely on accident, not trying. Just was doing forestry events, using my main to spawn them, and now I have the Petal Garland, so I look very pretty. What I did to start is I knew that combat was going to be a major part of this chunk. So, oh, hello. What the? I don't even know what that means. So what I did is I trained off of men for quite a few days. I actually told 30,000 of them to start getting easy clues at one point. What I would do is I would fight them at first until I was low on HP, then I would woodcut. I started with these trees in this cluster here, and then I chopped this oak tree, and then I just cut this willow tree for a really, really long time, painting here. I needed to get 60 woodcutting, which I definitely got. I'm 20 levels over that. 60 fire making, and 72 fletching to craft a yew shield. There are no bowstrings available yet, although I am working on that in this chunk. Eventually... Oh, Baby Implin! Hello, chunk task completed live on air. Hello. No, don't leave my chunk. No! No! Okay, well, we're gonna follow this guy. So yeah, we used Doris's kitchen a lot. We needed to get 58 cooking to make pita bread. That Baby Implin is gone. Okay, well, wait another day. So we lamped. What we did is at first we lamped agility. My goal on this account was to get both giant rares on a Edgeville start account. I wanted both. I know that Brio isn't in Edgeville, but she's really close. After doing some research, I found out that the monkey bars in Edgeville are really good training. They are actually equivalent to the Varrock agility course, but you cannot fail them, so they are a consistent 11k experience. So, while I was doing woodcutting to regen health, killing men to train, eventually I started to fight skeletons, chaos druids, and the thugs, as well as these rats. These rats were a good source of food at the start of the account. I did this, would come in and out of here, getting regen and HP, killing monsters, because thankfully in the wilderness, even if you're over leveled, they fight you for 10 minutes straight. Very useful. Even when you're well over leveled, these guys would still fight me, and they were very useful for that. One interesting thing you'll notice is I have 20 Slayer. This is not like most. This is actually a very common thing to lamp as a one-chunk man to get access to better equipment and more monsters as you roll chunks. I actually got to 20 because I got 2 tasks in a row from Vanica. Although he actually gave me a third one. Fun fact that I discovered, and I did not know that this was a thing. If you have a task and it is actually lower leveled than your combat level bracket is supposed to provide you from a Slayer Master, the Slayer Master will actually offer to reset it. So originally I had a task of Shades, which are really close. They are actually 1 chunk away, but they give horrific experience and take forever to kill. So I learned that when you're too low level, they will actually reassign you. So I actually got the Lesser Demon task, which is a better task. And then here's where I spent a lot of my time. I flinched Hill Giants using this ladder for a really long time using Battle Axe, because it was a faster way. And it was decent experience, and it would get me drops, because I needed keys, and I needed bone drops to get the lawn and curved bone. I killed 5,800 Hill Giants, and 54 Obors, something like that, to get the Hill Giants Club, which I did get. It's a very long time. But before I had actually done the Hill Giants Club, I had finally lamped to 15 agility and spent about 8 hours in Edgeville, or in Edgeville Monkey Bars. On top of that, I did also get a Earth Battle Staff. I actually got that by killing Earth Giants over a gap. Or Earth Warriors over a gap. And that is what unlocked an easy method to kill Obor. Thanks to that staff, I was able to auto-cast, which made killing Obor a lot easier than manually casting. But once I got Obor, I had a rune lawn sword, I had a kite shield, I had decent armor, although I actually didn't have a chain body yet. So I set off to start killing Moss Giants, so I could start killing the Moss Giant boss, Briafada. I got lucky with the Hill Giants. Only needed to kill about 5,000 of them. Only needed to kill about 50 Obors. I came here, I was around 60 base combats, maybe less. And I started killing these giants. It was very difficult. And my best way of killing Brio was to use my very limited amount of fire runes I got from primarily the Old Man Maze event. And I've realized that is not a consistent method. So I learned a method to kill Briafada. She will not move to try to melee you like Obor does. So what I did is I would attack, step back, wait for her to attack, step back. I would do that with Prey Magic on, so I would take very little to no damage. And I actually had enough DPS that sometimes I could face tank part of her for a kill once I ran out of prayer. I would get maybe 2 kills off of that, and it grew as my base stats grew. As you can see, my melees are now quite good. I'm 100 combat, I believe. Yeah, 100.5 combat. And I have a very decent prayer level. It's almost exclusively from burying bones. I stopped burying men's bones at around 37, maybe 40 magic, prayer. I was killing the men so quickly that it would take a significant amount of time to bury every bone. And now I'm walking into my current... This was originally going to be where I would start rolling. I was going to backlog Sturius because originally the goal was just for the 2 giant bosses. But my stats are so high now that despite not having real food, not having any prayer pots, I don't even have an altar. My only way to regen prayer is to die and come back. And it feels a little cheap, but my only way to die is to teleport or take the canoe back to Edgeville. So that's what I have to do. I'm working on a Fort in the Respawn. I'm almost there. If I kill Brio a bit more, because I have some leftover keys, I should get the alts plus what I have in the bank to sell. And yeah, this is where my chunk is. I am potentially going to be rolling once I get a Scurry's Spine, as Scurry is still going to be, I mean, potentially, it's a 1 in 3,000. If I went as dry on it as I did on Brio, I would be killing this for 5,000 at almost 6 minutes a kill, probably down to 2 or 3 once I get the Rat Spine, or the Scurry's Spine, and can make the staff. But even then, that staff will eventually run out of Chaos Runes, probably. So I will be passive in, which means I will be setting it so I have to kill X amount until I get some specific unlocks. There will be, I'll show you my rolls. There's a few rolls that will make it so that I require myself to get the Scurry's Pet before moving on. So here's my chunk map. As you can see, there's a beautiful chunk map thanks to Source Chunk. My chunk rolling rules are a little bit different from the standard Chunkman. If I can roll, I will roll any location that I can get back to, like through actual like technology. So not like die-in, which once I do respawn, you know, that would technically open up a few more. Not teleports, that sort of thing. So the standard ones is I could roll any of these. This is a free chunk. You can't actually get to the monastery or to Ice Mountain, or to these Black Knight or to Black Knight's Fortress without other chunks. So here that is unpassable, and here that is, this whole thing is unpassable. So this roll just unlocks this, and then it unlocks roll in this one. Actually doesn't unlock roll in this because again you can't actually get there. Azayat's Hut and this mountain cross. This is a free chunk entirely. There's nothing here. This is not a free chunk anymore. Actually, I need to change that. This has this Puro Puro. I will probably do Puro Puro on this account. I don't know to what extent. I don't know if I will do the full one, but potentially I will. I can also roll the Rock Palace because I could technically walk through the Edgeville sewers, through the Rot sewers, and pop out here. This unlocks a hefty cook and grind, I believe, but I have to look at it once I actually unlock it. But this unlocks the church here, which means that Scurry's becomes extremely easy to farm, as I could eat the cheese, come up here, pray at the church, go back, and I could do that. And that's much better than die-in and walking through the sewers every time. This chunk I can unlock because of the canoe. This unlocks a small... this unlocks a grind of ranging, I believe, as well as a couple other things. But this is not a very big chunk. This basically just unlocks the chunks around it. The Lumbridge chunk is obviously infamous. I don't have to get cape, so I don't need to get the defense or the woodcutting cape here. But there is still some grinds here, mainly mining. I'll have to get a mining grind as well as a small smith and grind, because I will most likely, without a true anvil, not do the full smith and grind. The other thing that I can unlock, and that this one will kind of suck, is Isle of Souls. I would have to get a couple things from here. I believe a tape, which requires 70 prayer to equip, as well as the Ectoplasmator, which I believe requires 70 prayer. And then last but not least is the Ferret's Enclave, which would require me to unlock another $1 million thing. I will most likely exclude Last Man Standing, although I won't have to do it for a very long time, and they're changing it anyway, so I may not have to do it by the time I am here and have it unlocked, because I won't have the quest points. It will be the 1500. And this starts to unlock a bunch of grinds in the wilderness, potentially. So that is my chunk map. Once I get the Scurry's Spine, I will make it, and I will kill this guy a bunch more, and then I will finally roll. My current goal is to lamp Hunter to potentially make a bow with a bowstring. But I hope that you will come and hang out on my stream. Again, my stream, I stream both a OneChunk Ironman as well as a Taskman that is currently in the medium tier. Thank you very much for watching the video. I know it's a different type of RuneScape video, and I hope to produce, once I'm out of this chunk, which was just a lot of the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, I hope to produce smaller videos of progress after this, hopefully with some actual RuneScape content, not just talking about it. But, so this is more of an episode 0 of a series, although I've been playing this account for 25 days. Thank you very much. Have a great night, or day, or afternoon.